You ready?
Go, go, go.
Go.
Here we go.
Here we go. All right. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to a Sunday edition of Morning
Go.
Scone, presented by
What?
Barack. Indeed. We're here.
Look it.
Drew's watching Liquid. That's Sesame Street episode where the word of the day is liquid. It's the Bubble Fest episode. So he's in there watching that. We're fired up. James Tyrone, good morning. Hey, Cheryl, good morning. Brittany Delahousse, good morning. Dale Broussard, Bo Major, Mike Dickinson, David Childers. What's up, everybody? Hey, Trivia, good morning. Good morning. Good to see everybody. Pete Giardino, good morning. Val Browning, what's up, Val? Everett, email Frankie Schmidt. Val, me and Feinswag and Liquid and Jay Ducote were texting last night. We're trying to get a final date on the beer tour. We're having trouble getting us all locked in, man. Troy Hebert, good morning. James Tyrone, Bob Poole. We were hoping, actually February, and then we're hoping March, and couldn't work out a date. Then we're hoping for April, and couldn't work out a date. And then it was like, all right, well, what date June can work, and can't do June. So it looks like it might be pushing to like the end of July. It's sorry to hear it, man, but we're having trouble finalizing a date. Anyway, so how y'all doing, man? LSU baseball last night, or yesterday, moved into the evening hours, I guess. They go out and they beat Mississippi State to win that series. So I guess when you go on the road and you win a series against the number 2 team in the country, and you win game 2 10-5 and game 3 11-2, liquid, when you score 11 runs on 11 hits, I guess you don't need to fire the hitting coach. And oh, by the way, you did that without your best player, Daniel Cabrera. I guess the hitting coach is okay for at least for today, right? Like, can we say he gets another day? I might be insufferable on the radio tomorrow. Yeah, just full disclosure, y'all. Like, I might be completely insufferable. And there are days when that happens, and I know I'm doing it. And I'm coming at you with full disclosure, but I may be a complete ass. Liquid, not that that's completely different than most other days, or many other days. But that may happen tomorrow. Here's what I don't get. Someone just did an angry face emoji. Like, here's what I don't know who did it, but here's what I don't get, right? I don't understand that there are some fans that are like, your team just went on the road. Like, just think about this, okay? Mississippi State was the number 2 team in the country. You just had back-to-back road series against top 10 teams in the country. Some of the best pitchers in the country. Both were top 5 hitting in your league. Like, you just played 2 great baseball teams, okay, in back-to-back weeks. And you were this close to sweeping Georgia. Now, you only won one of those games, but ball bounces a foot left into center on Saturday in game 2, and you win that series. Somebody's still coming at me with those angry faces. So now it might have been a mistake that you had the angry face. You were this close to winning that series, or even sweeping the Georgia series. And you could say the same about this weekend. Because, you rallied. You had 2 guys up on Thursday that in the 8th and the 9th with a chance to take the lead. Ha, 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 ha. Tie or take the lead. Hi. And the guys didn't come through. Now, the flip side of it, you can say, well, yeah, but Matt, they were this close to being swept in both. Well, they're swept at Georgia. Not swept this weekend. They dominated 2 games 2 and 3.
Happy birthday to you. Yeah. Whoa.
Big yawn. Okay.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Good job, Drew. Yay. Happy birthday, Mina. That's on one of the Sesame Street episodes he watches. Grammy. We did sing Happy Birthday to Grammy. Now, that was a few months ago, but we did sing Happy Birthday to Grammy.
Mama phone.
And you got to see Mama's phone, too. Yes, you did. Okay. Anyway, so back to the angry face thing. You were this close to sweep, right? You beat State. You were this close to sweeping. You were this close to sweeping the series against Georgia too, but you lost 2 out of 3. Like, that's my point all along with this. Like, that's the only point I'm trying to make is that in baseball, the margin oftentimes they say baseball's a game of inches. I know it's cliched, but in many instances it's so true. Look, they weren't perfect this weekend. They struck out 40 times in 3 games. Let me make sure I had that number. They went into yesterday They went into yesterday having struck out 29 times, 17 and 12. So they're at 29 going into the game yesterday. And yesterday they struck out 12 more times. Right? So they struck out 41 times in 3 games. That might be a record. Okay, that's terrible. To just not put the ball in play 41 times over 3 games. But Mississippi State was leading the SEC in strikeouts. They got some pitchers with great strikeout stuff. LSU didn't do a great job protecting the plate. Okay, you still won the series. Like, I don't understand people that are like, they can't just be like, man, maybe I was wrong about the hitting coach thing. Like, maybe this really is a talented team. I'm super pumped. My team went on the road and beat the number 2 team in the country, won 2 out of 3, 6-3 in the league right now, coming home against A&M with a chance to win that series and be first place in the West. And then you go to Missouri and they stink and you can sweep that one and the whole thing lightens up considerably from here. Like, instead of doing that, it's like, yeah, well, it was just one game and blah, blah, blah. Like, shut up. Are you kidding me? That was an awesome weekend, man. My God, that was an awesome weekend. I mean, I wish Hess could have had a little better result. But Cole Henry was awesome. He matched their dude pitch for pitch. JT Ginn was a first-rounder. Eric Walker yesterday looked like Eric Walker again. I mean, even I was looking pitches 78, 79, in the 7th inning when he came back after the rain delay. Pitches 78, 70 were 89 miles an hour. So, like, liquid. Walker was using both sides of the plate. He was awesome, man. He was just awesome. He gave you 7 shutout innings. I mean, he was just... There was so much to like about last night. No runs on 4 hits, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks. That was Walker, man. Just not going to have huge strikeout numbers, but he knows how to pitch. He's going to induce weak contact. He was awesome, man. Anyway. I'm fired up. I was fired up about that. If you're upset about me trolling you about the hitting coach thing, you should just laugh about it because that's all I'm really doing. Because it was an awesome weekend and I'm fired up for it. Chad Dupuy, what's up? Troy Abear, what's up? Walker was dealing. I'll talk about Eric Walker a little more in a second. Eric Hart, what's up, dude? Hey, Dan Warstell, good morning. Trey Dykes, Matthew Rojillo. Rodney Joka, good morning. Hey, Brittany Delahuse, morning, Matt and Drew. Any word on Cabrera's injury? So, it's something he'd been dealing with. They haven't said anything official. I didn't hear any post game comments from Monero, so I don't know if he said anything on the record. But he's got a hand issue, and he'd been dealing with, and he re-aggravated it on Friday. It was his last at bat. He swung and missed at a pitch, and you could see him kind of shake his hand. It was otherwise innocuous. Like if you didn't know something was wrong, you wouldn't have paid attention to it. But that, I don't, like I said, last night I had to go out to Catholic High for the lip sync battle. We were Run DMC. It was pretty fun. I think there's video. Now, I know there's video, but we'll get the video for you as soon as possible. But so I didn't hear any of the post-game comments. Sorry. But yeah, hand issue. See, we'll find. Oh, I gotta hit the share button. Hopefully you will as well. Please hit the share button. Get this thing out there. Liquid. Drew's watching Bubble Fest. Hey, Drew. What are you watching in there? Liquid. Hey, can you say liquid?
5,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liquid. Mwah.
5, 4,
Mm-hmm.
3.
Right. Okay. So, let's see. Blake Canfield, Seth Lemoyne. Good morning, everybody. Hey, Jeff Brenner, what's up, man? Frankie Schmidt, morning Scone time. Tigers are coming around, looking good yesterday. Arthur Coco, CJ Willis, you called it. Well, so here's the thing on Willis. I watch a lot of baseball. I'm not going to tell you like I'm a savant or anything, but I do know, I've watched enough of Paul Maneri over 13 years to know what he's going to do a lot of times. Just knowing his hunches, his tendencies. So when Willis went in the game on Thursday and got the pinch hit double, there was no doubt he was going to play. At least in my mind, there was no doubt he was going to play at first. Beloso's average had dropped like 60 points. In conference play, Beloso was hitting like 120. So you had a guy step up in a big spot with 2 outs, get 2 strikes on him, and poke a double in the opposite field gap. He was going to get a shot. Because, like I said, I mean, after you struck out 17 times on Thursday, could it be any worse, right? So he goes out there and produces 3 runs for you on Friday. Of course he was going to get another start. And then he was awesome yesterday. He walked twice. One of his walks, he started 0-2 and drew a walk on the next 4 pitches. He was awesome, man. I mean, so Willis he just went 1 for 3, but he walked twice and scored 2 runs, and he had an RBI. I mean, his hit was an RBI single. He hits to all fields. He's got great power. I mean, just natural power. At 6'3", it's impressive. He is going to develop into a really good baseball player. Barrett asked about Eric Walker, Kyle Gallo. It was nice to see Walker extend. Thoughts on C.J. Willis? Kid has a nice swing. C.J. Willis may be one of the people have been asking. We talked about this a bunch. Like, what do they do? What are their options? And most have been focused on second base, right? With Hughes and with Broussard, but Willis might be an answer at first. And Garza. I'm sorry, not Garza. Gavin Dugas, when he comes back, could be an answer at second if he can resume hitting the way he did earlier. So, those may be your 2 best answers. Joseph Roy, what's up? Matthew, away games don't matter. If they're in the SEC, they do. Robert Barlow, good morning. Let's see. Did you see a different approach at the plate? That's a good question. Also, what are your thoughts on Duplantis being... Oh, that cut off. Sorry. Eric Hart, lip sync battle. Who won the belt? Trey Erie and Michael Murphy won the belt. 2 enormous humans that dressed up they went out in suits, like tearaway suits, and they had Tina Turner dresses underneath and did Rolling on the River. It was really interesting. What's up, cuz? Jeremy, Stephen Miller, good morning. Christian Huffman, if I'm not mistaken, State threw 13 guys this weekend. LSU threw 5 guys all weekend. Unbelievable. It's true. It's what happened. So, and just, this is one of the reasons why going into this series, my point was LSU just had to find a way to split games 1 and 2 because they had an overwhelming advantage in game 3 with Eric Walker. And that's going to be the case in most SEC weekends. Most SEC teams don't have a 3, let alone a dominant 3. A guy like with the chops and the skins on the wall that Eric Walker has. So in most series, if Hess or Henry can push you away from the dock and get you a win, you're most likely going to win game 3. I mean, it's what happened 2 years ago. You just needed Lang and Poche to split, and then Walker was going to get you game 3. And that's kind of what it's like, this year. By contrast, last year you had Hess on Friday, Mikhail Hilliard emerged Saturday, and you really didn't have a Sunday. And you had to try to piece things together. Pete, midweek game's the real test. Get out of here. Ben Clark. What's up, man? Chris Kohlmeyer, good morning. Hey, Dawn, good morning. I'm going to get back to Walker and say I'm trying to scroll past just so I can catch up a little bit on these comments. Matthew Hyde, Jerry Spurgeon, good morning. Nadine Bro, good morning. Troy Abear. In baseball, you can jump to conclusions. It's a long season. Steven, more shocking, 41 Ks or 26 runs. Hey, I did answer. I saw your tweet, man, and I did answer. It's the 41 Ks. I'm not surprised that they scored, especially, and here's why. Especially considering last Sunday, State played Auburn in a 20-15 game. I figured LSU was going to score a lot of runs on game 3. So the runs don't surprise me. And because State's bullpen had given, even though their starters, their 1 and 2 starters had been really good in SEC play, their bullpen had given up runs. So that didn't surprise me. The 41 strikeouts over 3 games is stunning. Merrick Mathern, can we get Erica's breakdown of the Final Four tomorrow? She's sleeping right now, but I'll see if we can maybe get her to make an appearance tomorrow. Tom Guidros, good morning. Okay, Eric Walker, I thought was sensational. I was very surprised that he came back after the rain delay. I assumed, abundance of caution sort of thing on the shelf for an hour and a half where you're really going to get him hot again. But the other thing I know is there was no way that they were going to put him in jeopardy. So if they were able to keep him hot, like every 15 minutes or so, get up, light toss, just to keep his arm hot, it's doable. So, and remember, when they resumed the game, LSU was still batting. So it wasn't like they resumed the game and he got to go right back out there. But the thing that I love the most about Walker yesterday is that he looked like Eric Walker again. That was the first time this year when he's looked like the guy from 2 years ago. Me.
B.
B.
Ba.
Ba. Ba.
Baya.
Baya.
Ba. Ba. Ba.
Ba. Ba. Ba. Bubble. Ba. Ba. Bubble.
Mommy car.
Eric Walker.
Mommy car.
Mommy's car. We'll go for a ride in Mommy's car after Dad's show. Eric Walker will never overwhelm a team. He won't. But when Eric Walker is going good, he'll induce weak contact, and you will get yourself out because he'll hit spots. Telltales, look at Jake Mangum's day yesterday. Now Mangum got the hit. We got 2 hits late off the bullpen. One of them was a infield anyway, but he got the double in the 9th. But Mangum popped up twice, and that's Eric Walker knowing how to pitch. Like, he knows, okay, if this guy likes a high fastball, well, put it on the outside corner, up and away, to where if he mishits it, he'll swing at it. But if he mishits it, it's just going to be a lazy fly ball out. I mean, it's just, when you're that precise, that has to be your superpower, is your precision. And if you watch Eric Walker pitch, the thing to watch always is just like when I watch Walker pitch more than any other pitcher, like with Henry, I'm looking at the radar gun. I'm looking at how much his pitches break, like his breaking ball, how much it breaks. I'm looking at Hess. Is he throwing the slider? With Walker, all I look at is the catcher's mitt. Wherever the catcher sets up, does the catcher's mitt have to move? If the catcher's mitt doesn't move, Walker's on. And last night, he was just so on. He was so on target last night. Even the ball, do you remember the play? And someone tweeted me in the 4th, before the delay, like, oh, you need to get Walker out there starting to hit him hard. And it was when they hit the deep ball to center. You remember Watson went back, he made the catch, and he hit the wall, and the fence opened. We will go in Mommy's car after Dad's show. Mimi's house. You did go to Mimi's house last night. that pitch that kid hit, bless you, Mathis did not move his mitt. I mean, Walker kept that ball down. Like, he lived down in the zone. That ball was perfectly pitched. That kid just went down and golfed one off his shoelaces. And sometimes you just tip your cap. Like, you can make a good pitch and somebody can hit it. Like, that happens. And that's what that was. But that what goes to show is, like, even after that, they went into the delay. He came back and still gave you 2 more innings. I mean, he was so on yesterday. It was like that for me of the whole weekend. The whole weekend, that for me, even more so than the hitting. Because, like, I know, we've talked about it before, right? Like, I know Josh Smith struck out 100 times this weekend. Josh Smith is a really good college hitter. Like, he's going to play in the major leagues one day. It was a crappy weekend. It happens. You know, like, I know Zach Watson can hit and Duplantis can hit. And Duplantis had a great weekend. I mean, like, Chris Reed had a great weekend. Like, Chris Reed, his average dropped down in the 260s before this weekend. Like, his average had plummeted since they moved him into the 4-hole. Moved him out of the 4-hole. Had a really good weekend. We can do that. Well, we went to Fresh Market yesterday. We can go for a ride in the car after Dad's show. Hey, listen, we'll do Dad's show, and then after Dad's show, we'll go for a ride in Mommy's car to Awabasan. Okay? Okay?
Wicked.
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 Weekend. Oh, liquid. I'm sorry. You just closed me in here. He just closed me in here and went, open. He's singing All Aboard the Choo Choo Train. Y'all know Choo Choo Soul on Disney. All aboard. Okay. Well, you closed yourself out, silly. Anyway, so Eric Walker was awesome. And for me, that was the biggest thing of the weekend because...
Dad show.
Eric Walker was awesome. For me, that was the biggest thing of the weekend because... Elevator. Because I know, like I said, I know those guys can hit. We've been waiting on, you know, you feel like with Hess and Henry, you've got your top 2 guys. Some days they're going to be able to outduel other really good pitchers. Like, you know, like Hess outdueled Emerson Hancock last week. This week, Henry outdueled JT Ginn. I mean...
Brock.
It is Brock. The Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Proud sponsor of Morning. Scone. Brock. But even but even when Eric Walker isn't 7 innings, no runs, 4 hits, most game 3s, even Eric Walker, you know, giving you a B performance is going to be enough to win on Sunday. Because most other teams aren't pitching. So that's why he's so critical to what they do. Anyway, okay. Someone else asked about approach at the plate. I don't think the approach at the plate was much different. They still struck out 12 times yesterday. In my opinion, 2 things happened. Number 1, you were not facing Ethan Small or JT Ginn. Yesterday, you were not facing dynamite strikeout pitching. You still struck out 12 times. So that's a big difference. Is just quite honestly who you were facing. Remember, Peyton Plumlee started the game for State, and he struck out the side in the first. And then he actually struck out Reed to start the second. Or, I guess it had been to Giacomo to start the second. Anyway, he struck out the side in the first. The first 4 outs that he recorded, because he gave up the homer to Duplantis, then struck out the next 3, and then struck out to Giacomo to start the 4th, or the second inning, his 4th strikeout. But Peyton Plumlee only went 2 innings. And then they brought in Jack Egan. He got 2 strikeouts, 2 inning and 3rd. I mean, Barlow got 3 strikeouts. He only pitched an inning and 2/3 though. He's Barlow and Riley Self are probably their two best relievers aside from Cole Gordon. So anyway, point is like a lot of it has to do with who you're facing first and foremost. I mean, when Ethan Small strikes out 12 or whatever, 11 through 5 innings, I mean, you can blame approach, or maybe that guy's just really stinking good. So that's a big part of it, one. Two, I think I wouldn't underestimate C.J. Willis, the role he had in games 2 and 3, because C.J. Willis drew, let's see, Willis drew 2. This is the difference one guy can make in your lineup. And this is why when everybody was talking about, kept focusing on the bottom third, not hitting and all that, and I kept saying, there's no doubt, like, those guys were struggling, but when the top of your lineup is scuffling, it magnifies the bottom, because when the top is scuffling and everybody goes through slumps, you don't have anyone there to pick them up. Well, you put in Willis, who batted 5th yesterday, by the way, but Willis was 1 for 3, so he had a hit, but he had 2 walks. Let me go to game 2.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hang on, y'all. Game 2.
Yeah.
Let's see. Game 2. Grammy. Laurel and hated. Happy birthday to you. Okay. Sorry, y'all. I just want to make sure I had this right. Okay, so Willis he was 1 for 3, but he had 3 RBI. He did not walk. But okay, that's right. So on Saturday, in game 2, so Willis in game 2, remember, he hits a ground ball to the right side, RBI. Hits a fly ball to center, RBI. And then he had a base hit RBI as well. So even his outs were super productive on Saturday. Then on Sunday, he gets another hit and walks twice. Again, 3 really productive at-bats. Like, that's what you're missing, is even if you're not hitting 350 at the bottom of the lineup, are you giving me productive at-bats? And that's what LSU is not getting from those guys before. You put a guy like that in the lineup, and then it helped that Chris Reed really came around this weekend. Chris Reed was awesome. I think he was 6 for 7 on the weekend, because he had all the walks too. But Chris Reed was awesome this weekend. So those 2 guys compensate so much for everything else. Whenever you inject that life into your lineup in different spots, so you're not just like, okay, Duplantis, Watson, Smith, what are y'all doing? I mean, Josh Smith struck out probably 9 times this weekend, maybe more. I don't have the number in front of me. So I don't know that the approach at the plate changed, quite honestly. I mean, it wasn't like they were taking a bunch of pitches and driving up pitch counts. They struck out a ton. It didn't change. They were just not facing Ethan Small after game 1. They were really aggressive and got on JT Ginn early in game 2, and they hit State's bullpen. Still struck out a bunch. Kevin Klingman. What's up, Kevin Klingman? Good morning, man. Ryan Dixon. Astros are 1-2. Fire Hinge, trade Bregman. Oh man. Brian Falgu. Nice radio segments with Matt last year. Where's your son this year? Oh gosh, is that Sanders? Sorry, y'all, I got long-winded and a ton of comments scrolled past, and it only lets me scroll back to a certain amount. Zachary Prey, what's up? Jason Odell, good morning. Patrick Kimmery, 1-2 to the Rays. The Astros lost. I didn't pay attention to anything yesterday except the LSU baseball game. I wish I could have watched the basketball games, but I was at the Calakai lip sync battle. So we dressed up like Run DMC, did a montage of 4 songs. I mostly just danced because other than Tricky and Walk This Way, we did My Adidas and You Be Illin'. Didn't know those songs at all. So I just kind of danced. Did a little booty shaking. Michael Moscona, what's up, cuz? Danny Brabham, good morning. Andrew Brister, so what are we worried about today? Bats or pitching? Isn't it funny, like, through the first couple of weeks, it was like, oh, the pitching stinks. They can't pitch at all. They're walking everybody, and they stink. Worst ERA in the SEC. They look pretty good this weekend. The pitching staff. They can throw it. And that's like, oh, the bats. They stink the bats. Yeah, they scored 26 runs in 3 games. I think they're okay. Anyway. Stephen Miller, Eric Walker pitches and reminds me so much of Maddox. Looks like he's crazy, but your point is well taken. And the fact that he's a precision pitcher. He's not up there trying to miss bats with 96 mile an hour heat. He's pound the strike zone, hit your spots. Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Bob Poole. Now, that's a good question. Thoughts on Todd Peterson's struggles of late? Doesn't seem to be the same pitcher as last year. So, I do have some thoughts on that. Part of me feels badly for a pitcher when he gets some tough luck. For example, last week at Georgia in Game 3, the homer that Devin Fontenot gave up. They gave up 2. One was a blast. The other was a pop fly down the right field line, but that fence was 315 right down the line, and it cleared the fence by a foot. At Alex Box Stadium, that's a lazy fly out to right. In that field, that's a home run. So statistically, it looks terrible on Devin Fontenot. Same thing happened yesterday to Peterson. The homer he gave up at Dudy Noble, there's a little cut on the fence that's 305, and that's where that homer went. That home run probably went 315 feet. You can make a good pitch, and the other guy slaps it the other way, and in any other park, that is a fly ball out, but in that park, it's a home run. That sucks. One of the hits Peterson gave up yesterday, good pitch. If you watch the end of the game, chopper went over his head, then he had to kind of field over his shoulder, and he's unable to make the play. Like, it's one thing if you're getting pounded, like guys are barreling you up and hitting balls in the gap and one hop in the wall and double down the line, and you're not missing bats at all, and they're hammering you. It's another when your day goes like that. So Peterson's had some tough luck. I'm not excusing it. What you need from your closer, you need a guy that can go miss bats. You need a guy that can get you a strikeout when you need a strikeout. That can come throw cheese and get some wicked stuff. And like Peterson did at the end of last year, like Hess did at the end of 2017. And right now Peterson's not doing that. So that's tough. But I would say the Cal game, so the Texas blown save, right? I think one ball got out of the infield and it was a dribbler through the 3-hole. It's just hard to be really upset about that, right? Now the Cal series, he got pounded. So it's tough to read because some of it's just bad baseball fortune, and some of it is him missing spots and not missing bats. He closed Game 1. They can't, Fontenot let a couple guys get on. Peterson comes in. His first 2 pitches missed badly. Then he made a beautiful, beautiful pitch and induced an infield pop fly. So the stuff is there. Like, I don't think the stuff is any different. I mean, he's still throwing the ball 96, 97, maybe a little too amped. The home run he gave up against Nichols, that guy was hitting fastball first pitch, and he just served up a meatball. I'm sure he thought he was just going to throw a fastball first pitch. This guy was going to take it, and he'd be up 0-1, and the kid just crushed it, So it's point is, like, at this point, it's impossible to ignore that the outings haven't been good. His stat line is terrible. A lot of it's bad luck. But at the same time, the way you avoid that as a closer is you miss bats. Elevator. Like, you go get strikeouts, and he's not doing that. So, I don't think it's one of those things where you give up. Hey. What? Is Bubbles on? Liquid? You watching Liquid? Liquid? And so the other thing is people say, well, let's make Fontenot the closer, which I'm cool with. What Maneri did against Georgia. Hess went 8 innings. You needed 3 outs. He went to Fontenot. I'm cool with that. But I also really like Fontenot in the role that he gave you on Thursday. When Fontenot gave you, or I'm sorry, on Friday. Or Fontenot went 3 innings, right? Or 3 2/3 or whatever it was. I really like that. Or 2 2 2/3. I like him extending because he's capable of doing it. And so if you don't want to save him and just let him get 3 outs, let him get you 9 outs. Or 8, and like it happened the other day, and then Peterson gets you the last out, which I'm cool with that too. I guess it's the encouraging part is Mineira's got options, Let's see, Chad Dupuy. My 16-month-old daughter watches every morning with me and waits for Drew to make an appearance. When he does, she points and says, "Doo." Oh, that's cute. That's cute. Troy Abear, thoughts on Todd Peterson. Okay, I just talked about that. Jerry Johnson, Todd Dupuy, good morning. Scott Sanders, what's up? He's heading to South Bend on Monday. The Cubs A-ball team in the Midwest League. He's going to be a starter in their rotation. That's awesome, Scott. Good to hear that, man. Good to hear about Cam. Bro, tell him pack a jacket, bro. So, it's March, still cold in South Bend, I guarantee you. We got our last snow up there in May. Where do they play, Scott? Do they play at Notre Dame's stadium? At Notre Dame's field? What's it, Eck? I think Eck Stadium is the stadium at Notre Dame. Todd Dupuy, what's up? Philip Kearney, Patrick Kimmery, he's getting tall. He is getting tall, man. Drew, I guess you're talking about Drew. Mike Dwaron, good morning. Chris Crochet, is that an Orioles helmet in the back? It is. It's a. I've showed this before in Morning Scone. It's an autographed Cal Ripken Jr. batting helmet. I got that in 1996. What? Hey, your food's all done. Let me see your backpack. I got that helmet in '96 when Ripken broke. Thank you.
Oh, bye.
When Ripken broke Gehrig's Iron Man streak, I was just big into Ripken that season. Hey, what?
Rabbit.
You want a hug?
Elmo. Cricket.
Liquid. Yeah, so that's an autograph guy. I wouldn't say I'm an Orioles fan. As a kid, I really got into the streak with Ripken. So my parents gave me that, I think, 1 year for my birthday. Hey, Drew. Hey, Drew. Hey, Drew. 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 Hey, Drew. All right. You don't listen to me. Okay. Troy Abear, do you think the weekend rotation is set for the rest of the year? Would you change it? I mean, I guess barring an injury. But think about how exciting that is. Seriously, if at some point this year you get Jaden Hill and Landon Marceau back, okay, and now you have potentially a 4th and 5th starter if you need them in the postseason, and if not, those are guys that can go give you. They can bridge for you. Now, if your starter's struggling a little, gets in trouble, you don't have to say, "Hey, I need you to go get me 3 more outs to get me to Fontenot, Peterson, whatever." Like, hey, just go get Marceau, go get Jaden Hill, let him get you 3 outs. Let Jaden Hill come out of the bullpen and throw 96 and get you 3 outs. Okay, maybe here's a crazy idea. Maybe Jaden Hill this year, when he comes back, does what Hess did 2 years ago. And becomes, you just tell him, hey, all I need you to do is give me 3 outs. Rare back. I don't need you to sit 94, 95. I need you to go grab 97, 98 and blow people away for 3 outs. Maybe. I don't know if he's ever done that before, but my point is, like, you have options when those guys come back. Blaine Allen, what's up? Andrew Bear, CJ Willis had a great weekend. He more than earned a spot in the line. There's no question. And I know I've said this before, so some of y'all are probably sick of hearing it, but with Maneri, ooh, yeah. With Maneri, it's very much a meritocracy with Maneri. You know, he will play the best players, the guys give a chance to win. I'm not going to say that he, like any other coach, doesn't have favorites or play favorites at any point, but if a guy's going good, he's going to play him. I mean, that's just what Paul does. You know, it's just look at Chris Reed. Chris Reed was, I mean, that's the most obvious answer. Chris Reed was off the team. That was just your everyday third baseman batting fourth or fifth in the lineup. I mean, if you can play, he'll play you. Let's see. Blaine Allen, what's up? Oh, I already said that.
Yeah.
Brady
yeah.
Beacom. Sunny days.
Ooh. Yeah.
Let's see. Johnny Clark, what's up? Troy Aber, Drew's Elevator Show. Corey Gotro, Andrew Bayer. Based on this weekend, who do you like better at second base? I think Hal Hughes is a better glove, but I don't think it matters at second. I think they're both fine there. And offensively, it feels like they're a push. I think it's confounding because Broussard hit last year before his injury, and he hasn't hit since. And as dumb as this is going to sound, because I know his numbers don't pop, but I've tweeted about it a few times. I've talked about it. Hal Hughes this year has been up in some big spots and come through, like 2 outs, man on third. You know, get him. You need a knock here, and he'll punch one through the 3-hole. Like he's done that a few times this year, where he's come up in big spots and delivered. So on a hunch, I'd probably play Hughes, but I'm really hopeful. I'm hopeful that when Gavin Dugas comes back, that he hits the way he did. Now Dugas only played in 3 games, so he's hitting like 600. So I'm hopeful. It's such a small sample, and it's early in the season when you're playing Hofstra, whoever, I don't remember if they played, ULM and somebody, anyway. But what? Liquid?
Liquid Fast.
Liquid Fast, okay. Let's watch Liquid Fast.
Wait. You be daddy home. Daddy sushi.
If only we could all be that happy to watch a show on Fast Forward and let that make our day. Shout out to Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, with 5 convenient locations, all the subspecialties. They are tagged in this post. If you would like Brock's page, that would be a massive help. Let's see, Stephen Miller. Let's see, lots and lots of overswinging and pulling the head down in the count 2. I'll tell you what. If you're talking about approach, one thing that I'll tell you, too many, and this is your telltale, okay? Too many of the guys are going up there with the intent of pulling everything. And the fact that Mississippi State was playing the shift not only against Beloso, but they were playing the shift against Duplantis and against Chris Reed. Like that tells you that teams are scouting LSU as, it tells me anyway, that they're scouting LSU as offensively just dead pull hitters from the left side. If they're playing a shift, they're playing 3 infielders on the right side, which they were. Now Beloso has become that, and that's super disappointing because I know I've said this before, but the first weekend, the thing for me that was most impressive about Beloso, and it's the only time that I got to see him play, because I don't get to ever watch the freshmen before the season starts, because I never get to go to fall baseball because it's football season. And then they practice when they start their 3 weeks of practice or 2 weeks of practice before the season starts, they practice during AFR. So I never get to lay eyes on the freshmen until the season starts. And the first weekend, Beloso had an opposite field single. He had a hard line out to center field, and he hit the walk-off homer, pulled it over the right field bleachers. He hit to all fields. Now he is a dead pull hitter. He grounded to double play yesterday, killed the rally in the 7th or the 8th, maybe the 8th. Pulled the ball right at the first baseman, grounded to double play. The fact that they're playing Duplantis in the shift, so I will tell you that. I mean that I think that would be my one complaint with the approach, if you want to put it that way. It does feel like they're all going up there looking to pull everything, except for Reed and Willis. Quite honestly, Reed and Willis are about the only guys going up there that'll hit the ball to all fields, and Josh Smith too. Reed, Willis, and Josh Smith feel like the only guys in this lineup that are up there willing to hit the ball to all fields. And Willis has played 3 games. Let's see. Patrick Kimmery. What is it with every MSU player looking like the biggest hick stereotype? Mullets, patchy facial hair, etc. Well, don't really answer that. I can answer that, man. Pete Giardino, okay, strikeouts is our issue. Damn it, fire someone. Kirk Taylor, Kip Kippers, good morning. Mike Kracher, good morning. David Freeman, Doug Duhan, good morning. Can you hear him? Brian Falgu, what's the theory behind State using 7 pitchers trying to keep LSU off balance, or didn't have one good one? That's kind of the point. They didn't have one good one. They were piecing together yesterday's game, and this is why I told y'all. Split games 1 and 2, you will win game 3. Had this conversation with Hunt Palmer too. He was like, LSU after Thursday, he's like, LSU's getting swept. I said, no, they're not. They're gonna win on Saturday. Let's see if Henry can match Ginn pitch for pitch. If they can, they have a great chance to win the series. Yes, they ran out of pitching. Peyton Plumlee is a veteran guy who started the game for them yesterday, but he's not a guy that's going to extend deep into a ball game. They got 2 innings out of him. He was effective, except for the Duplantis homer. They went back and got Tristan Barlow. Barlow threw 27 pitches on Thursday. You can't run him out there on 1 day's rest and have him go throw 50 pitches. They were stuck. They used Riley Self the day before. Cole Gordon threw a bunch of pitches on Friday. You weren't going to bring him out of the bullpen again. So they just had to go run out arms to try to get through the game. Mommy's car. That's why when you have the luxury of Eric Walker on Sunday, you have an advantageous situation going into every weekend, because very few teams in the country have a guy like Eric Walker on Sunday. I remember when Florida is, they're having a struggle this year, but there was one of those years when Florida was super dominant, and Karsten Whitson was their number 3. If you remember, Karsten Whitson was the guy who went 8th in the draft and decided to show up to Florida. Now, he had all kind of arm issues at Florida, and that's super disappointing. You hate to see that, but that guy was their Sunday guy. Remember they had Brian Johnson, the guy who pitched and hit. They were awesome, in large part because of that. They had an advantage going to every series on the mound, and LSU kind of has that. Everybody's got an ace. You're going to face A&M this weekend. John Doxakis is awesome. I haven't looked at his numbers this year, but I guarantee you he's got a ridiculous ERA, and is probably over a strikeout per inning. And let's see, and pull up his stats. And is probably going to be in the running for SEC Pitcher of the Year. Let's see, Doxakis. What I want pitching. Come on, man. Here we go. Wow. Doxakis has a 3.78 ERA. This can't be right. 16 innings pitched? That cannot be right. There's no way that's right. "19 strikeouts, 3 walks." That cannot. He can't have only thrown 16 innings. Nobody's thrown more. That's just not right. How has he only thrown 16 innings? I got something to look up this week. Yeah, that's not right. So he threw 7 innings against Fordham, 6 against UIC, 8 against Baylor, 4 against Gonzaga, 5 against Vanderbilt, 5 against Kentucky, 6 2/3 against Missouri. So those cumulative stats are wrong. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 starts. He's in 7 starts. Here's the runs allowed: 0, 1, 1, 3, 2, 3, 3. I mean, that's the guy you're going to face on Friday. Like, you're going to face a guy that hasn't allowed more than 3 runs in a start this year. He's a dude. Yeah, he is a dude. So, like, everybody's got one. I know I really deviated there. Everybody's got one. So Hess has to be on it. And if he's not, then Cole Henry's got to come back and win game 2 for you. But either way, you still feel really good about winning game 3. That's my point. That's my point with all that. Sorry for the deviation. A&M needs to update their stats. Matthew Shelley, good morning. Todd Dupuy, I wonder what caused Coach Maneri to walk to the bullpen yesterday. That's a good question. He did that in the 9th. Peterson was on the mound. Hilliard was in the bullpen. And he walked down to the bullpen. That's a good question. I'll ask. Kirk Taylor, where them nega tigers at this morning? Lance Richard, my little man Austin said to tell Drew hi. Well, I'll tell him, Austin. Thank you. I'll tell him when he comes in here. Thank you very much. Hey, Drew, come here. Hey, Drew, come. Drew, come. Yay! Hey, listen. Austin is watching, and he said hi. Can you say hi, Austin?
Hi, Austin.
Hi, Austin. Oh, that was so sweet, so sweet, so sweet. I love you. Okay, go watch Bubbles. Thank you, Drew. Let's see. Matthew Shelley. It's amazing what happens when they swing or just don't strike out, like a Terrier Sitting in the Right podcast. Jackie Caruso, good morning. Patrick Emery, Josh Smith strikes out in his sleep. He did this weekend. But you know what? I'll give Smith credit for this. It was, look, we all know Josh Smith is a really good hitter. And I liked moving him into the 2-hole. He's going to see more fastballs, and it didn't help him yesterday, obviously. But he did get a base. He did get a knock, but he struck out 3 more times. But either way, I know Josh Smith can hit. But the best part is, even though he was struggling like he did this weekend at the plate, he didn't take his bat into the field with him because he was awesome defensively. I mean, I would go so far as to say that if we went back and actually charted the ground balls that he fielded and the plays he made it short, especially circumstantially, like what was happening in the game when he made some of those plays, there's no way LSU wins that series. He was phenomenal this weekend in the field. Kirk Taylor, I would argue Reed is the MVP. You can make a case. You certainly can make a case. But, like, I would also remind you, like, that his batting average did drop into the 260s over the last 3 weeks. So he'd been fighting just like everybody else, man. But he was awesome. This weekend, he was awesome. Stephen McGowan, good morning. Lonnie Terrell, how's your bracket compared to Mama's? That's a good question, Lonnie. Liquid fast. Okay. Honestly, is that Lonnie? Lonnie, I don't know. I know. I know everybody loves to follow brackets and all that stuff. I fill one out now because everybody fills out a bracket. We have to do one for our bracket challenge. I don't sit there and like highlight my bracket and watch and follow. I literally don't even know how my bracket's doing. I do know that my final 4 was Duke, Buffalo, Tennessee, and North Carolina. and I had Duke beating Tennessee in the championship game. So Duke is my only hope remaining. So if Duke wins it all, like they're my shot to get any to gain any more points in a bracket, right? Duke has to win it all. So my bracket stinks, but my mom's was awful too. She had LSU playing, I think, North Carolina in the championship. She had her other Final Four team was. She might have had. She didn't have Gonzaga. She had Gonzaga losing to somebody. I don't remember offhand. And then she had a 13 seed in the Final Four that lost in round one. I don't remember who it was. Fast and slow, fast and slow, fast and slow and fast. Where you going? Liquid fast. He's a trip. Let's see. Michael Kivlin, good morning. Matt Anderson, good morning. Jerry Spurgeon, with the season over, what happens next with Will Wade? So I did get that a lot this weekend. A lot of people have said, is Will Wade going to get fired tomorrow? No. Like, why? If you're LSU and you were going to fire Will Wade, you would have done it already. I mean, if you're going to fire him now, like, you would have done it. Why let him coach? Why not let him coach, right? So, I think they're willing to just wait it out until that trial in April to see if until any more information comes out. Now, fast and slow, fast and slow, fast and slow and fast.
Liquid fast.
Liquid fast. Yep, liquid fast.
Yep. Liquid fast.
That was loud. Hey, babe. Let's see. So anyway, I don't expect anything to happen with Will Wade until April. The tricky part is, how do you recruit? Like, how do you go recruit with your coach suspended? Like, that's something that they haven't answered that I think they kind of have to address kind of soon here. Patrick, Wade will get bought out. LSU pays him big, and LSU hires a bleep coach. If that happens, it's not going to happen right now because they would have done it already. That's like, I know people continue to overlook this, but I'm telling you, I am telling you, I'm not guessing. This isn't an opinion. I'm telling you, LSU does not want to fire Will Wade. Joe Oliva does not want to fire Will Wade. He hired him. He just won the SEC. The PMAC was full. The fans have obviously rallied behind Will Wade. They do not want to fire Will Wade. Okay, I'm telling you this. I'm telling you this. This is not Matt's opinion. I'm telling you this. They do not want to fire Will Wade. Okay? So they are going to wait as long as they possibly can to see what information comes out. If Will eventually talks to them, or when he talks, he's on. Okay. Buy Depot. He's crazy. Anyway. So if Will Wade gets bought out, maybe that happens, but it's not going to happen now. And I don't think that they're eager just to pay him a buyout settlement. I think they want him to be their coach. They're waiting to see what happens with this whole situation. I think for NCAA purposes, they felt like they had to have some kind of disciplinary action against Wade to avoid the institutional control charges. I don't think this was well thought out by LSU. I think it's a bad play, as I've talked about, but they don't want to fire him. And so they're going to give him every chance to maintain his employment. Dustin Roussel, good morning. Eric Kuckel, good morning from Bruley. Derek Hopper, what's up? Pete Giardino, oh, donuts. Can't have it though, Pete. Gave up all that stuff for Lent. Janet, what do you expect from Gavin Dugas when he comes back? I'll ask Alden Cartwright that tomorrow on AFR. Alden's worked with Gavin, in youth league stuff, so he knows him well as a player. I'll get his opinion on that tomorrow. But I hope he comes back and hits the way he did. I read these stats yesterday. Dugas, it's a small sample size, but Dugas. Gavin Dugas batting .600. He played in 3 games with 1 start. He was 3 for 5 with a run scored, a double, and 2 RBI. And he drew 3 walks and struck out once. So, I mean, you're talking about a guy that was really good offensively. Small, he only played in 3 games, but was really good when he was in there. I mean, I don't think he's obviously going to bet 600. But can he bet 300? If so, I'll take that at second base. Jody Johnson, good morning, Matt and Drew. Epic performance last night in the lip sync battle. Hope you can walk this morning. Doing good. Thank God it was only 3 minutes. Yes, your boy last night at the Catholic High lip sync battle performed along with Kerry Guglielmo and Billy Hale. We were Run CHS, a spinoff of Run DMC. And we performed to a montage of Walk This Way, Tricky, My Adidas, and You Be Illin. It was fun. It was a really good event. Andrew Bayer, our freshman pitcher, destroyed their freshman pitcher on Saturday. That's true. Nicholas Cicero IV, good morning. Shout out to Red Storm 13's volleyball in the gold bracket today. Shout out Red Storm. Jason Bourgeois, Patrick Bell, Run CHS. How about it, bro? Dustin Alvarez, good morning. John Boudreau, good morning. Where's the video of you working and twerking at Catholic High's grown-up talent show? It was not a grown-up talent show. It was a lip sync battle. And I will see if I can get the video from, the main camera of the event. I'll see if they can get me that video. If not, I know for a fact that someone recorded it on their phone side stage, and she told me she would send it to me, so I'm waiting on it. All aboard the choo-choo train. All aboard the choo-choo train. All aboard the choo-choo train. All aboard. Do you want all aboard choo-choo train? Do you want choo-choo soul? Choo-choo soul. Let's see. What site do you go to for NCAA baseball stats? I normally go, if you want a school stats in particular, just go to that school's athletic website, click baseball and stats. If you want SEC, go to SECsports.com and they have stats. If you want the NCAA stats, go to NCAA.com. It's just Google NCAA baseball stats, and you'll have a link that'll take you through. Bye. Hey, Wanda Zachary, good morning. Logan Bourgeois, UCBO, good morning. Coming down the home stretch, we're almost done here. Y'all also, please, Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, they are tagged in this post. If you could like their page, and remember, if you're out and about as a weekend warrior, I know there was a big tennis tournament yesterday. Maybe you injured that elbow. Maybe you're out at a baseball game this weekend. Here's hoping it doesn't happen, but if a kid turns the ankle sliding into home and you need to go see a doctor, you need an MRI or an x-ray, Brock is open. They do it all. They can do your PT, your OT, as the shirt says, Brock Physical Therapy. Brock, shout at the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Blaine Smith. Good morning, Matt and Drew. Really hoping Hampton sticks with his commitment. Great for football and baseball teams. That's Maurice Hampton, who may very well be a first-round draft pick in baseball. We'll see if he ever shows up on campus. Drew in the house. What's up, Gary? Tim Roussel. Lego Ninja Drew. David Alello, good morning. Scott Sanders did not have one that felt good about on Sunday. Trying to see who may step up and win the Sunday job. Oh, you're talking about Mississippi State. Shaka Smart to LSU. I'll pass. Irfan, good morning, Matt and Drew. Good morning. Dale Broussard. Why would Wade want to come back after the way he was treated? You do realize Will Wade is on a federal wiretap discussing compensation for players. I mean, I don't want to be super sarcastic with this answer because I know the narrative among fans is Wade was mistreated and blah, blah, blah. But the reality is he is the one that started all of this mess because his voice is on a federal wiretap discussing compensation for players. Okay? So let's start there. Like, Will Wade is not absolved from all wrongdoing. Okay, like that's an important point to note here. All right. Number two, if, and this is the hypothetical, if Wade is fired, the NCAA hammers him or whatever, Will Wade becomes toxic. Nobody's going to touch him. He might have a show cause penalty where he can't coach in college. Like, no major program is going to run out saying, "Oh, let me go pay Will Wade $2.5 million a year." Right? Does that make sense? So my point is, Will Wade will have very limited options, and I think he loves LSU and wants to be back and realizes he's building something very special here. They have to work their way through this, and ultimately, it's his fault. I mean, the whole chain of events started because he's on a federal wiretap. Brian Melanson, does Wade want them to fire him, get the buyout money, and move on? No, he does not. He wants to coach. And he wants to coach at LSU. Caleb Gandy, what's the word on Caleb Gilbert and Jaden Hill? Gilbert's coming back from shoulder surgery. You talk to anybody that's ever had shoulder surgery. Even Kurt Ainsworth said it on AFR last week. It's hard to ever come back from that, man. The shoulder is different from the elbow. You can come back from the elbow better. Shoulder is different. Jaden Hill's got that arm soreness. You know, same thing. Maneri talked about him last week. They did an MRI. Structurally, nothing wrong, which is the great news. He's just got arm soreness. So they're just trying to get him to where he can throw without pain. They're just taking it slow, and that's the right thing to do. Ken Quirk, good morning. Jason Tarver, good morning. Todd Dupuy. Unfortunately, I think Coach Wade is gone. I also think the reason they haven't given an extension to Oliva is that they'll let his contract run its course. Matt, I do believe around August or September they'll make an announcement about Coach Wade being the election will be coming up. They can't wait that long on Will Wade. They just can't. They can't wait until September or November and have your program in limbo through a whole signing period through off-season workouts. They can't wait that long. Like he's not going to be suspended until the start of next season. And Oliva's contract is up next July. I would suggest to you that if you're talking about the election and you're looking for something to do with Oliva or something to do with all this, Oliva would be the one to watch. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if there's a power play involving Joe Oliva in the summer, early fall, to try to gain support for the election. That would not surprise me at all. Because you can't let you can't let his contract run out through next summer. Liquid. That's just liquid fast. That's unprecedented and horror and just horrible business. Oh, thank you. Liquid fast. I mean, you were talking about shrinking your pool of candidates. Let your athletic director's contract just flat run out. That's something that's completely unprecedented. Nobody just lets their athletic director's contract run out. They're like, well, I guess you're not coming back. Like, and no athletic director would do that. Like for Joe, I know, and again, not guessing, I know he has pushed for a while now for a contract extension. Joe doesn't want to move. He wants to retire at LSU. He's been here for 12 years, whatever it is, and he makes $750K. He wants to finish his career here, but he also doesn't want to be fired. So he would like to stay ahead of his resume. So it's like, if you're not going to renew, if you're not going to extend me, let me go get another job somewhere, right? Well, Joe's contract runs out in July of 2020. So I think that's where Joe is in limbo right now. He'd like to get an extension, but you have these dueling forces on the board where some want him fired and some want to keep him. And that was the same thing when Richard Lipsey was the president of the board, and he tried to move him out. As you can now see, I mean, Richard's gone very public with that now. But couldn't get it done when he was on the board. So you have this struggle, this internal struggle at LSU. And ultimately, someone with more power and clout would have to step in and intervene to get something done. Josh Long, I made it, I'm late. Hey, Josh. What's up, man? Drew's here, too. I love you. 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 You're my favorite. I love you.
Yes, Rog.
You need to clip those fingernails, kiddo.
Roro house.
Roro does have a house. That's very true. Nanny's house. Roro has a car too. Very true. Roro does have a car.
Our person.
Hey, listen, we're almost done with Dad's show, and then we'll go to Albertsons.
Mommy's car.
Mommy's car. Kirk Taylor, I must say all the shade Gordy Rush last night. I feel sorry for him. Oh, about all the Jesuit stuff? That was funny. I have a piece of Ruffin's fiddle. I think that's good for a nap. Bring it in and see, man. John Boudreaux, heard you were great last night. Enjoyed it.
No.
Did you get me?
Mommy should do. Mommy should do. Mama Koa. Coach. Mama coach.
Did you put a swim mask on Daddy? Okay. So I have my AirPods in. As soon as he hit that, it started blaring in my ears about Baby Shark. What?
Baby shark do.
Yep, Baby Shark do. He got another one, didn't he? It's been a while since Drew hit me with a filter. Kevin Harrell, good morning. Heather Burns, is Hilliard still hurting from last year? No, he's back. Hilliard was in the bullpen last year or last night. Ready to come in. Let's see. Yancey, Benoit, Adam, Fourier, Sean Ewing. Good morning. Good morning. Donald, Amy. Good morning. Kirk Taylor. The filter battle has begun. Lonnie Terrell, Drew's killing it this morning. He kind of is. That was well timed, Drew. This is better than a block party by Drew. Ryan Broussard, what's up? It's Sunday, there's no block party. How does he do that? All right, we're at the end of the comments. you can swipe on the phone to get to the comments, or if you swipe, I'm sorry, it's not a swipe. There's a tab, an icon on the bottom. It's the filter icon, and if you tap it, then the whole row of filters comes up. So then he can swipe, and he just hit one. And it just happened to be Baby Shark. Last one. Is it safe to say Eric Walker is now 100%? I think that's very safe to say. Jason Boudoir, he was awesome. Ryan Broussard, I'm okay with 3-3 from these last 2 series. 100%. That's the luxury. We talk. If you go back and watch or listen to AFR or anything after Kentucky, that's the luxury of sweeping Kentucky, is that you didn't have to win both of these series to maintain your pace for 20-10. You just had to win one of them. 2 really tough road series, and you did that. You won 1 at Georgia. You took 2 out of 3 from State. You're 6-3. You're pacing for 20-10. You come home against A&M, which is a winnable series. You go to Missouri, which is a sweepable series. It lightens up considerably for LSU from here, which is awesome. So, all right, y'all, that's going to do it for us. Morning Scone, appreciate it. If you have not done so yet, please hit the share button. That is a tremendous help. Brock, Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic, awesome sponsors. 5 locations. You can like their Facebook page. All the information is there on their Facebook page. Primary locations on Blue Bonnet inside of the Surgical Specialty Center. That's near Perkins. Brock, y'all have an awesome Sunday. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you tomorrow. Lead up. Oh, wait, let's go tell Drew bye. Hey, Drew. Hey, Drew. Hey, Drew. Can you say bye?
Bye.
Say bye, Dad Show.
Bye, Dad Show.
Blow him a kiss.
Mwah.
Mwah. Say love you.
Yavu.
Love you.
Yavu.
Love you. Okay, bye, everybody.
Mama.